Remember the books and the stories when I was a child, the ones where everything always worked out fine. But things aren't the same as the way they used to be. It's disharmony, and a part of me wants to embrace this calamity, but it's a disgrace these profanities are being hurled at me. Hurled at us, like we're the enemies. It's social dysentery. They've dropped the pleasantries and it's set and sedentary. There's no imagination, his inspiration has been leached from all nations, and now all we do is converse with guns rather than verse. Now we're terse, and the worst is yet to be culminating. And I find it irritating that these politicians are accommodating and advocating that which is instigating and aggravating when we should be illuminating and regulating, yet we're just prostrating. Standing on pulpits, preaching on direction, but upon further inspection, it's only a cross-section of deflection, and my complexion is paled by this. The groups like Hamas and ISIS are even allowed to exist. The religion of peace sitting to feast on the blood of the blameless while we bolster the famous. Nothing ever changes. Like dry rot on the inside, stuck in tight spots, but it can't hide. Not forever, because we'll find it, you see. Because you can't hide the symptoms, and eventually your victims will find their voices are louder in numbers they'll find power, and it'll be all over your browser, and they'll flounder and fumble, because it only takes a pin to pop a bubble. And the downtrodden and broken will hear the words spoken, and even though this is no more than a token, I pray it's prophetic as opposed to aesthetic, and that the sympathetic will become energetic and speak out, fuck apologetic. Politically correct won't fly. It grabs society by the neck and squeezes till it dies. And it should come as no surprise that you can no longer trust your own eyes, because these lies that they devise keep us from the truth like closed thighs while we're constantly baptised in falsities. Bureaucracy and democracy has become a mockery of the properties that we once held in esteem, while the people we're supposed to trust, they cheat and they scheme. You see it every day on your TV screen, iPhones, newspapers, magazines. The only solution is dilution of the pollution that clouds our minds, a rejection of the direction that upon closer inspection leads eyes to be blind. And you may find that in time this kind of rhyme and others will become a neck to turn the heads of our sisters and brothers, to tear us away from the red tape and the race hate and the PC debate. The world has gone crazy. Who gives a fuck that Bruce Jenner's a lady, or that the princess with a new baby? And when there's kids blaming society for being unemployed, but they're just too lazy. And we find ourselves at the crux of my mission, a society of people blaming others for their own condition. Please forgive my pessimism if I'm not interested in your own self-heroism, because your words will always be bigger than your stature if the things you stand for have been manufactured. If you're not big enough to refuse to be compliant, then stay here in your herd and keep silent.